That's not right. What's up, people? Big G Gadgets coming at you with another little summon. Now today we're going to be talking about external DACs. One in particular, the Sennheiser GSX 1000 Pro. But before we get into the product review, let me go over what a DAC is. So ever since the introduction of the CD, sound is stored and transported across circuitry in the digital format. Those ones and zeros you associate with matrix code, they're the bad boys. Speakers, headphones, earbuds, they can't interpret those ones and zeros as sound, and therefore we wouldn't be able to hear our favourite Celine Dion track. Sad times. This is where a DAC comes into play. The DAC, or digital to analog converter, will take those ones and zeros, that digital code, and convert them into analog waveforms which the speakers can interpret, pump out, and boom! I surrender! Comes on and we can listen to it. I surrender! Love the Celine! Now for those of you who are bright sparks out there probably wondering, Big G, surely there's DACs everywhere, and you would be correct. If you've got something that's playing sound, chances are it's got a DAC embedded there somewhere. Your TV, headphones, earbuds. So why have the need for an external DAC in the first place? Now firstly, not all DACs are created equal. As you can imagine, there are cheaper models out there, and cheap may not always produce the best sound. But taking as an example PC gaming, those inbuilt DACs that you find on your motherboard, on your sound card even, are surrounded by external noisy factors. Electrical signals from your PSU, your CPU, your RAM, graphics card, or the circuitry on your motherboard can throw in interference and throw out unclean signals, hissing, crackling. If you can take that away, all those external factors, and provide a more clean environment for the DAC to work in theory, those signals are going to be even better. They're going to be sounding real crisp when it comes through those expensive speakers or headphones. So now that we've got that out the way, let's get to the product I've got in store for you. The Sennheiser GSX 1000 Pro. It is a Pro. It is a Pro. Made specifically for gamers. Now when you hear the name Sennheiser, you immediately think of top quality sound, $300 earbuds, quality headphones, speakers. But this DAC is the cherry on the top. So without further ado, let's get to the product. The unboxing is quite an experience. The external packaging gives you a little visual representation of what the DAC looks like. Doesn't do it justice if you ask me, but hey, who am I to judge? Confirms that this bad boy is compatible with both Windows PCs and Macs. Confirms it has a 2-year warranty and breaks down the input-output ports that you've got on the DAC, which I'll break down for you again later in the video. In the box you get your paperwork, not particularly useful paperwork, but it's paperwork nonetheless. USB to micro USB cable, pretty long. Plug that into a USB 2 or higher port of your computer, your Mac, your laptop, stick it in the back of the DAC, and it acts as both a power and a digital transfer cable, and that will be where the sound is being pulled from the computer and input into the DAC. I would have liked to have seen this cable as a braided cable myself. Price point of 200 squids on Amazon right now, you're kind of expecting the best of the best. Not too sure what the plastic cable's durability is like, time will tell. And then finally you get to the DAC itself, and oh my god, does it look pretty! It's small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, but doesn't feel lightweight, doesn't feel cheap, and will fit nicely on any size desk. The design of the Sennheiser GSX 1000 is pretty intuitive. You've got that beautiful digital display on the front with a lovely chrome type finish wheel that controls the volume, and that red. Around the sides of the DAC, at the front you've got the Sennheiser logo. Around the right hand side you've got your microphone volume control wheel. Controls how loud your microphone input is, so if people can't hear you on your comms channel, just turn that volume straight up and people should be able to hear you relatively easily. You've got your micro USB in, which I said earlier gives you the power and the digital input. You've got your 3.5mm speaker input port. You've got your 3.5mm out port for your speakers. You've got a 3.5mm input for your microphone. And then you've also got another 3.5mm output for your set of headphones. And then if you want this sitting on your desk at a slight angle, it also comes with a nice little kickstand at the back, Waving your hand over this thing will wake it up from standby mode and give you that beautiful red display, showing all of those lovely parameters and settings that you've got going on. Top left is your speaker headphone toggle. Headphones will give you slightly more options, which we'll go through in a minute. Hang on with me there, player. Top right is your pre-programmed equalizer modes. You've got your normal mode, which is designated by nothing around it, just literally the equalizer symbol. You've got your gaming mode, which I wasn't a big fan of. This thing just sapped all the bass, just sapped all that lower end and just gave you a pretty crap experience. So I either went with music mode, which kind of gives you a little bit more lower end, or with film mode, which really did kind of give you that that you want. So pick and choose. The gaming one, just crap. Bottom left is your voice comms playback. You can change the level at which you hear your own voice through your microphone played back into your headset, so you can tell how loud you are or how you sound. And finally, you've got the bottom right, which will switch between 2.0 or give you the option of 7.1 surround sound if you've got your headphone settings in the top left. That 7.1 isn't actually available if you're using the speaker settings. It's just available if you're going with the headphone route. So Big G, is the 7.1 experience coming through the headsets worth the 200 squid price point of these bad boys? Yes and no. Let me explain. Firstly, I am in the camp that you will never get true 7.1 through a set of headphones. You may agree, you may not agree. That's just my personal opinion. However, in certain games, it did seem to work quite well. Playing Escape from Tarkov, other first-person shooters, the 7.1 did actually kick in and give me a little bit more of a well-rounded experience. Sometimes you would hear footsteps from the back, from the side. It did seem to work. And when it did work, it wasn't particularly great. Maybe it's my crap headphones, granted. But I'm not too sure the 7.1 is there yet. I'm sorry. Speaking of the other 7.1 surround sound settings you've got if you go around that mode, far left is your reverb selection, and then far right is your directional controls if you want the sound coming from the front, if you want the sound coming from the back, if you want the sound just neutral, that is where you go to make that selection. Now, given all these options, all these settings, all these parameters, have no fear, you can set up 4 different presets with this thing and just dip and dive into whichever one you want. Simply set up the DAC how you want it and hold one of the 4 different corner buttons for up to 2 seconds. It will flash white and boom, your settings and parameters are saved and you can go there whenever you want. Just press that corner, press it. Now, one thing I like about this DAC is the setup is easy as pie. Pie's not that easy. What is easy? Ow! Setup of the DAC is easy. Take the USB cable that's provided, plug it into the back of your PC, your laptop, your Mac, stick the cable in the back of the DAC and boom! It works. There's no need to download drivers, there's no proprietary software. It literally will take the sound through that cable into the DAC and then distribute it to speakers or your headphones. Oh my god, so bad at this. Now, apart from the 7.1, which I can get on board with, which I can't get on board with, there were a few other things that I didn't like. The red finish, for example, I would have loved to have seen a little bit of RGB in this. Maybe have some software that you can dive into and just change the color scheme of the DAC. And then finally, the price point. £200. £200! Now, I have to say, I did buy this myself. I spent £200 so that I could test this for you guys. It hurt. I'm not too sure it's worth £200. There are cheaper DACs out there that will give you similar sounds, give you that external experience. Use the additional money that you save on getting a better pair of headphones. Those two things combined will give you more for that 200 quid than just the Sennheiser GSX 1000 Pro DAC. But damn, it does look good. Does look good.